Glasses on or glasses off? That is the question. My glasses make me look smart. No glasses, I look very pretty. Glasses on or glasses off? We shall see. When you blah 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 blah. When you I have to stop rambling. Anyways, I decided on no glasses. What's up, my YouTube family? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. My weekend was full of work. Worked all weekend. I've been kind of like in a slump lately, to be quite honest with you guys. I've been in a bad mood the last couple days, and it's just been, I have like a lot on my plate right now. I have a lot going on in my life, and I want to make a separate video about that. I'm gonna call it the dirty honest truth, and I want to be upfront with you guys and tell you kind of like the struggles of what I'm going through right now. But today's video is going to be completely different. It's a positive thing. Today's video, I want to talk about nutrition. I want to talk about a question that I get asked a lot. I work in a health food store. People ask this question all the time. Even friends, when they've seen, you know, my weight loss and my fitness journey, I get asked this question quite a bit. And it's, you know, what diet do I follow? What diet should I follow? What should I be eating? What should I be avoiding? Calories, macros, vitamins, like what should I be doing? So I'm kind of gonna hit just a couple points today, and I want to talk about, I'm not going to go into depth about all the different diets, but I want to talk to you and what I personally think is important and what I follow. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the first thing I want you guys to understand when it comes to food is most people have a relationship with food, whether it's a good relationship or a negative relationship. Myself personally, if you haven't seen my my fitness story, I think part 2 is when I really started to talk about like my food addictions. I'll link it up here. Also, the other video where I talked about a little bit about food addictions was cleansing and nutrition science, which also I will link up here. But if you want to know a little bit about my relationship with food, you can check out those 2 videos. I've had, you know, like kind of a negative relationship with food growing up into my mid-adulthood. I looked at food as comfort. I looked at it as, you know, if something good happened to me, I'd reward myself with food. If something bad happened to me, I would comfort myself with food. So I had this very negative relationship with food. And I think I didn't realize I had that relationship until I first started working with a personal trainer, and she told me to start writing down everything that I was eating, you know, all the calories and everything. And at the end of the day, she'd make me write why I ate that today or what happened that day. And when I started to actually track what I was eating and the thoughts I was having that day, I started to see I was an emotional eater, and I actually did have a relationship with food, which I was really shocked because I never thought I was an emotional eater. To this day, it's still something that I struggle with. You know, when something good happens, I'm always tempted to go and get like that pint of ice cream or, you know, have a piece of cake. And then when something bad happens, again, I want to reward myself. I want to comfort myself with food. And it's a relationship that I am constantly working with. It's a struggle that I have, but I've slowly become better and better now that I've, you know, I work out more consistently and I understand food addictions and I understand the science behind it. It's something that I am aware of. The way I kind of look at food today is I try to look at it as fuel for my body. So when I eat a meal, I try to think about it like, how is this going to help my body? Or how is this meal going to help me reach the goals that I need to reach? And when I started looking at food as, you know, in more of a positive light like that, my relationship with food started to change. And I would say I don't have like an amazing relationship with food, but I have a healthier relationship because I understand, I look at food now instead of comfort or negativity or anything like that. I try to look at it as, you know, how is this going to fuel my body or help me reach my goals? You know, what will this do for me? And when you look at food in that way, the dynamic that you have with food changes. So you're less tempted to reach for that piece of cake or that pint of ice cream, because that's just pure sugar, and the pure sugar in it is not gonna help you reach your goals in any sort of way. It's not gonna help you in the long term, and if anything, it's gonna just set you up for failure and further food addictions, right? Look at food in a positive light now. So for those of you who struggle with that relationship with food, that's like my number one tip. Think about it every meal you have, every snack you have. Think about it like, how is this gonna help my body? Now, of course, you can have your little, treats here and there, for sure. We're all human, of course you can. But for the most part, you wanna keep your diet or your nutrition clean, and look at it like I said, how is this gonna help my body? And you'll see how that will actually help your relationship with food. The next thing I want to talk about is just like your macros and your micronutrients. This is what I do personally, and to be honest, I think this is the one that most people who are in the fitness industry, most people who compete or are train or like are trying to hit any specific goals, this is really the diet. I don't even call it a diet because it's not a diet, but this is a diet or nutrition lifestyle that most of us adhere to. I just find it's really simple, it's easy to follow, and you see results. That's really what it boils down to. So your macros are your fats, your carbs, your protein. Now, of course, depending on what your goals are, your macros are going to change. Me personally, I'm still trying to lose weight, burn fat, right? So that means I consume high protein, low carbs, not that low of carbs, they're almost like lower than my protein, and then really low fats. So that's kind of like for mine what I do. If you're trying to bulk up, then of course you're going to want to eat high carbs or high fat, whatever works for you. Some people function better on high fat as opposed to high carbs, so whatever works for you, and then high protein. So if you're trying to maintain, then of course that's going to come down to like a different scale. So it changes for everyone what your macronutrients are. So there's basically a number that you're trying to hit. For me personally, I try to consume between 114 to about 120. Really, it's 120 to about 140 grams of protein a day. That's the number I try to hit every day. I usually always get to about 115 or 20, somewhere in between there. I always get there. A couple times I've been lucky and I've gotten to 140 grams. It's hard, but it's because you're trying to lose weight. It's important to consume more protein. Now, if you're trying to gain weight, that number is going to go up. And I spoke about this briefly in another video. There is a way, if you want to calculate your macronutrients, there's a website you can go to, Kathy Hearn Fit. I'm gonna get the website for you guys and I'll link it down below here. But if you go to that website, it's the one that I found is the most accurate in terms of calculating your macros and knowing how much carbs, protein, and fat you should be consuming for your specific goals. Hearn is, like, if you guys don't know, she's a really big Instagrammer in the fitness world, and she just started her YouTube channel, I think maybe like a few months ago. So she's like building like an audience, but that website is awesome for calculating your macronutrients and just knowing what numbers you should be hitting. It'll also tell you your calories, what you should be eating every day, basically, to lose, maintain, or gain weight. So for me, I literally stick to those numbers. I try to hit them as much as possible. For me, that's the easiest diet to follow. It's like, I cannot stress this enough. It's so important that if you're trying to lose, gain, maintain, whatever it may be, you need to be consuming enough protein to whatever your specific goals are. People do not consume enough protein, and when you do not consume enough protein, it can give you multiple health issues, like multiple. Our immune system runs on protein. Our whole body is made out of protein. If you are not consuming enough protein, you are damaging yourself for the long run. Now, whether you're getting your protein from meats or from vegan, vegetarian sources, to me personally, it doesn't matter. Get your protein however you want to get it. Get your protein in, which is very important, but just make sure you're consuming enough protein, okay? Now, the next part I want to talk about are your micronutrients. So your micronutrients are your, like all your fiber, iron, vitamins, like those are all your micronutrients. For the micronutrients, I don't pay too much attention to them. It's not because I don't consume them. I actually consume quite a bit of micronutrients because I take a lot of vitamins and supplements. So I'm always hitting them. But if you're someone who has like digestive issues, for example, you might want to monitor your fiber to make sure that you're consuming enough fiber to help with those digestive issues. You know, if you are someone who is constantly tired, for example, you might want to get your iron checked first of all to see if you're deficient, and then make sure you're either supplementing with some sort of iron or you're consuming foods that have a high amount of iron. What your goals are in terms of macros, micros, the easiest way to monitor them, I've found, is either to write them down, you know, get yourself a food journal, write everything down. And like I've said before in previous videos, when it comes to setting goals, when you write things down, it holds yourself accountable. And when you can hold yourself accountable, you're gonna see a lot more success because you are holding yourself accountable. You know, that's why a lot of people who have personal trainers, who have nutritionists, the reason they're successful is not because they hire these crazy expensive nutritionists or personal trainers. It's because someone is there monitoring them and holding them accountable when they eat that, you know, 5 pieces of cake or that whole pizza, or when they don't work out all week. Someone is holding them accountable. So if you can do that for yourself, you guys will be so successful. So I really recommend purchasing, you know, something to write down, a food journal, or using MyFitnessPal. If you don't have the app MyFitnessPal, I highly recommend it. I have it. It is my lifeline. It's basically how I'm able to monitor what I'm eating, when I'm eating it, if I'm getting the proper nutrients that I need, and making sure that I get my proteins, my carbs, and my fats. Everything I eat, I plug it into MyFitnessPal. I have how many calories I should be eating for the day, and then I break down. You can set goals on MyFitnessPal for your protein, your carbs, and your fats. If you upgrade it, which I don't think many people do, but if you pay an upgrade, you can also set goals for your micronutrients. But regardless, whether you upgrade or not, you can see like your micronutrients on there and what you're consuming. So that app is like, it's a godsend. It's amazing. I plug everything in. You know, if I eat something that has a barcode on it, then you can just take a picture with your phone and it finds it and it plugs in the calories, plugs in like all the nutritional information for you, which is just fantastic. So that app is amazing. I highly recommend it if you are trying to lose, gain weight, whatever it may be. The next thing I want to talk about is just like food sensitivities. Personally, I have food sensitivities. I think it's really important that you pay attention to what you're eating and how you feel after you eat it. Guys, I work in a health food store. The number one reason why people come into the store is for digestion issues, or they're not going to the washroom as often as they should be going, or they're not feeling good in their stomach, or they have burning pain, or it's like inflammation. That's the number one reason why people come into the health food store. It's crazy. Now, it's crazy to know the stats actually when it comes to digestion. It freaking fascinates me, but it's like 8 out of 10 people are constipated and don't realize that they're constipated. The rule is food in, food out. So if you are not getting that proper digestion flowing, you guys need to pay attention to your food sensitivities, to what is that is bothering your body. Now, I think that's really important. I think a lot of people in the fitness industry that we see, like these bodybuilders, all these competitors, they eat large amounts of, meats and large amounts of dairy, and although I understand you're trying to hit your macros there, you know, your proteins, your fats, your carbs, dairy is not the best thing for you. Okay, there's a lot of research on this, and I'm not going to go into like huge detail here because it's such controversy. You guys can look it up yourself, or I can make a completely separate video talking about dairy and how dairy is made. But just understand this: we are the only mammals in the world that consume dairy past infancy. Okay, so a lot of people have sensitivities to dairy and don't even realize it. So when you're feeling bloated, or if you have any sort of like skin, like psoriasis, eczema, I suffer from eczema myself, severe eczema. I started to pay attention to the foods I was eating, and I started to pay attention that after eating certain foods, my eczema would just flare up like crazy, and I would get rashes and super itchy. When I started to pay attention to that and started to cut out certain foods, number one, I lost weight. I dropped 5 pounds like this. And then number two, my eczema started to get a lot better and a lot more manageable. So for me, dairy was a huge issue. I do consume whey, like whey protein powder. And the reason I consume whey protein is because whey only makes up 20% of dairy. Usually what you're allergic to, what most people are allergic to in dairy, is the creatine. So whey, for most people who are just sensitive, obviously if you're lactose intolerant, stay away from dairy completely. Even whey, you should, you know, go for a vegan protein powder, pea protein, whatever, but stay away from dairy. For me, I'm just sensitive to it. So when I consume whey, it doesn't bother me the same way as like when I have cheese, or if I have pizza, or if I have some ice cream. Ice cream is the worst. If I have ice cream, forget about it. My skin is on fire for at least a day and a half. It's really, really bad. So I want you guys to also pay attention to what you're eating and how you feel after you eat it. If you notice that you're having stomach issues, or you're feeling bloated, or you're breaking out in your face, or you're noticing that after you eat certain foods, this is how you feel, your body is trying to tell you something. It's telling you, we don't like this food. It's bad for you. It's harming you. Pay attention to your body and how you feel, and pay attention to when you put it in your body, how you feel afterwards. Okay, I think that's extremely, extremely important. Last thing I want to just touch on really quickly is, guys, food, like I said earlier, is just food. Okay, it's not your comfort buddy. It's not your reward for like a good, amazing day. It's just food. Food is there to fuel your body. Now, of course, have your treat days. Now, this is something else I want to touch on. I don't like to call cheat days, and the reason why is because cheat has such a negative connotation with it. Like when you're thinking of a cheat day, you're thinking bad, right? Oh, I'm doing something bad. And like I said, we all want to have a piece of cake or ice cream or pizza. I love pizza. Pizza is my favorite food, for those who don't know. I love pizza. So we always want to have those treats. Now, I don't want you guys to think about it like, if you decide to have that slice of pizza or that slice of cake, whatever it may be, I don't want you to think about it like, oh my God, I'm cheating myself. Oh my God, my diet, my macros, my nutrition, blah, 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 blah. No, it's a treat. It's okay to treat yourself every now and then, you know. When you're starting your fitness journey, I would say don't have any days for maybe at least 2-3 weeks, so that you can get used to the lifestyle change. It takes 21 days to build a habit. So I would say take 21 days to build that habit of eating a new way, of looking at food in a new way, and then slowly add those treat days back in. Don't look at it as like, you know, when you do have those treat days, it's a full day of you get to eat whatever you want to eat. No, plan for them. Set them aside. You know, if you know you're gonna go out with your friends on Saturday night, eat clean all week and know that Saturday night is gonna be your night to treat yourself. And I want you guys to think of it like a treat, like treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself, okay? So look at it as a treat. Everyone, we're all allowed to have our treats all now and then. I had a poutine today and I'm not ashamed of it. I went afterwards and I worked out my back and it was a freaking awesome workout, probably because of all those carbs and the cheese and the gravy, and it was so good. Oh my god. But treat yourself, guys. Don't cheat yourself. Whatever your goals are, guys, just stick to it. Be consistent and you will get there. I know when it comes to food, it's the thing that most of us struggle with, and it's the hardest, probably the hardest part of the journey. I still struggle with it to this day. Working out, you know, I love working out, and for me that's not a challenge. I can get up, I can go to the gym, I can do my thing, but what you put on your plate for the rest of the 24 hours, that can be the challenge sometimes, right? Stick to your goals, be consistent, appreciate food, look at food like a good thing, don't look at it like a bad thing. Think of it like, how is this going to help me reach my goals? How is this going to help me fuel my body? And you'll have a better relationship with food. Hope you guys liked the video. Hope it was helpful. I will go into this on a deeper, I'll do more videos on nutrition and go into it a lot deeper and talk about it in more detail. But I just wanted to do a quick video on just some tips to help you guys on your nutrition and your journey. Remember guys, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change that you have to make here. It is not a diet that you're gonna follow for a day or two and then fall off of. It's a lifestyle change, which means you're gonna have to make changes in your life. But that's a good thing, not a bad thing. So hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. Actually punch the like button for me, please. That would be awesome. It really helps me out and I would really appreciate it if you guys did that. Again, if you guys want to comment, please feel free to comment. I love reading comments and replying to them and just talking to you guys and finding out who my viewers are, who watches my videos, why you watch my videos. And that's it. I have to study for a biology test, which I have no idea anything that my teacher is saying. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Congratulations guys, you made it to the end of the video. You know what that means. It's time to like that video and leave me a comment below. I love reading your guys' comments, and remember to subscribe to the channel. New videos are every Monday and Thursday. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.